What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to a brand new video. It is now the middle of October, and for those who have been at Amazon for a while, you know exactly what this means. Peak season is coming up, and for those who are new, I'm going to be explaining what peak season is today. This video should be a little bit of a shorter one. I'm just going to talk about what peak season is and what should you expect from peak season, but in the next video, I'm going to be talking about how to survive peak season. So definitely watch this video and then be ready for the next one. For those who don't know what peak season is though, for all of my new employees who are maybe being hired on for peak season, it is exactly what it sounds like it is. Peak season is the most busiest time at Amazon. It is the 2 months, pretty much November and December. Sometimes it goes into October as well. There's like 2 to 3 months where it is just jam-packed. It is the absolute busiest time of the year. People are constantly ordering for Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas. They're ordering all their gifts. They're getting their gifts out of the way. And of course, a lot of people like to start their Christmas shopping all the way in November and October. So you're just getting Christmas shopping for like 3 months straight. And then of course, decorations for people's houses and stuff like that for Thanksgiving and fall and winter and like all that stuff. For 3 months, you are just getting some of the busiest times at Amazon. It does not get busier than peak season. Prime Day and Prime Week has absolutely nothing on peak season. That's fact. I would say like the amount of orders that we get probably triples or quadruples than what we usually get for the rest of the year. So it is very, very busy, much heavier than usual, and it is starting soon. While I'm filming this, it's only October 5th, but by the time this video comes out, it'll be the middle of October now, and that means we only have a couple of more weeks until peak season. All I can say honestly is I hope you guys take some time off. I really hope you did. Now that we've briefly covered what peak season is, I'm going to be talking about what you should expect during peak season. So to be honest with you, during peak season, yes, the amount of orders that we get are drastically rising, much higher than the rest of the year, like I said earlier. But if you're in something like Stow or maybe even something like Pick, your work doesn't really like change that much, because those positions are always going to have constant work. Well, not always, especially not for Stow. They don't always have constant work, but for the most part throughout the year, you're constantly working when you're in those positions. Like when you're stowing, you usually never run out of work. Well, sometimes you do when you get slow, but especially in Pig, you're constantly working throughout the entire day. It almost never slows down. So to be honest with you, it doesn't really change during peak. Yes, you're getting a lot more orders, and yes, you are having to work, but it's still basically just the same amount. The only difference is that you will have to work extra days, but I'll get onto that in a little bit. But for the most part, a regular day just feels like a regular day, to be honest. It does feel a little bit more hectic. It does feel a little bit more crazy, just because some people are kind of losing their minds. You know, some of the managers are losing their minds, and you could just get a vibe in the warehouse. Like they'll have it plastered everywhere. Peak 2021, they'll have that plastered everywhere. You'll see it in balloons. You'll see it everywhere, all over the walls and stuff. They make it a really big deal, and they'll be doing like giveaways and stuff like that. So it definitely does feel a little bit more hectic, but for the most part, when you're actually just working, I mean, it's pretty much the same as a regular day. I won't even lie to you. It is, of course, busier, but it's just the same as a regular day. And yeah, like about the giveaways, during peak season, there is a slight difference, and that is AMs will constantly push you for higher rates. You're going to see it on your screen if you're stowing or picking or counting or anything like that. You're going to see it on your screen. They're going to send you multiple messages like, hey, pick up the pace, basically. Or maybe they'll say, hey, we're doing a giveaway if for the top 5 stowers, top 10 stowers, or hey, if you meet this certain rate, we'll give you like a candy or something like that. So yeah, there will be a little bit of a push from managers to do better. They'll constantly send it on the screen and stuff. Like they'll constantly want you to just pick up the pace, basically. And that's not targeted at just you. If you see one of those, it's not targeted at just you. Everyone who is under the same manager as you will also be getting that message. So don't worry if you get that message. Don't worry and think that maybe you're moving a little bit slow. That's just there basically automatically because it's peak season and they want you to do as best as you possibly can. And yeah, like I said, sometimes they'll do giveaways. They'll do like Fire Stick giveaways or Kindle giveaways. They'll basically give away Amazon items that they sell and that they've created. So you might be getting some of that if you are one of the top like 5 stowers, top 10 stowers. During peak season, they're a lot more generous with the giveaways, so you might win something if you do really good. They'll also be doing raffles and stuff like that. So to be honest with you, not much changes in terms of the work, but they do push you to work harder, and they do have incentives for it. And this is probably like the only time of the year where they do have incentives for working harder. So you should definitely take advantage of that. Now, one other thing that I did want to talk about, and this one's a really big one, I'm not gonna lie, because this is a deal breaker for a lot of you at Amazon, and that is MET, mandatory extra time or overtime in regular jobs. Because at this job, we have an insane amount of MET towards October, November, December. Mainly November and December though, but those last 2 months are insane. They are jam-packed with MET. Now previously, in the previous years, you would have an extra hour added onto your day every single day, and then at the end of the week you would have an entire day. So you would have about 1 hour added onto Wednesday, Thursday. I'm just gonna say my schedule. You would have 1 hour added onto Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then they would add another 10 hours onto Sunday. So you would be working an extra 14 hours every single week. Now earlier this year, or sometime late last year, they did cancel that MET process. They are no longer allowed to do that, as far as I know. I believe that they did because that's what I heard, and I haven't worked that type of MET in over a year now, or pretty much a year now. So I don't know if that MET exists anymore, the MET where you have an extra hour added onto your shift. I do believe that they're not allowed to do that anymore though. But I hated that MET. Like for me, that was my least favorite type of MET because I had to wake up super early. I had to wake up like around 3 a.m. just to get to work during that time. But I do believe that they've canceled that MET now, thankfully. So nowadays you only get MET, you only get your 1 day added on at the end of the week. So for me, it's gonna be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then I'm gonna work that extra Sunday at the end of the week. And during peak season, you get MET pretty much every single week. There's no exception about this. So like I said earlier, I really hope you did save some time off. I really hope you did. If not, it's kind of too late, but hopefully you could find some, I don't know what you, there's not really any hope for you. I'm sorry, unfortunately, if you didn't save time off, it's unfortunate. I wish I made a tip for peak season a couple months ago and told you to save time off, but I will be making that video soon, so go ahead and check it out. But yeah, we are gonna have about maybe like 6 to 8 weeks of MET straight. So you're gonna be working like about 8 weeks straight of extra days. So you probably will be working 50 hours for about 8 weeks straight, somewhere around this. It could be like as low as like 5 weeks, although I highly doubt that. It could be as low as 5 weeks, and it could probably be as much as 8 to 10 weeks. So we'll be working a lot of MET for the next couple of weeks. So definitely expect to be working a lot of overtime. If you've used your time, if you've saved your time off, sorry. If you've saved some time off, you're good. You'll probably get most of those days off if you want to. I know I'm gonna be using a lot of UPT during this time. And yeah, another thing is the vacation time is frozen during this period. Around the middle of November towards the end of the year, basically, they freeze vacation time. So if you were planning to put vacation time in, check with your location because it's all site dependent, but with my location, we've already frozen the time, and I know a lot of locations as well have already frozen the time. Now, if you put your time in before the time freezes, you could still take your vacation time, but once the time freezes, you are no longer allowed to use your vacation time. At that point, we are only allowed to use UPT and PTO because during peak season, vacation time is completely frozen. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's probably the worst thing about MET, and what really picks up the pace is the fact that we are added on an extra day every single week, and that's mostly just because of how busy it is. They really want us to get as much work as we can get done in an entire week, and they want that for consecutive weeks because of Christmas, Thanksgiving, you know, all the fall and Christmas holidays and winter holidays, all that kind of stuff. Everything makes it so much busier. So definitely expect some MET. And yeah, that's pretty much it. But during the end of the peak season, you will get a shirt. Let me get it real quick because I do have mine. Hopefully it comes out on camera, but you can see right there, somewhere right there, hopefully that's showing up. I think it should be, but it says like peak 2020 on the front. That's the front of the shirt, and on the back you get this right here. I don't know if y'all can read that, but yeah, it's basically like every single year they do this basically like we survived peak thing, where if you made it through peak, you get a free shirt. They give it to you somewhere around January. They give a lot of free stuff away, not a lot, but they'll give like away like 2 free masks, that shirt, a little Pecky pin or whatever they're called. I actually don't know what those are called. They say PECCY, I don't know what that is. I'm just kind of stupid, but they do give away those pins as well. I actually don't have the exact peak pin from last year right now, but I do have this pin that I got for Prime 2021, and I'll show you what that looks like right there. And that's those are the like the little pins. A lot of people collect these, and I think it's really cool. I don't collect these. They've given me some. I kind of just keep them in my desk and don't really bother with them again. But yeah, they're a little bit cool. Some people have so many of them down like their lanyard or their vest. Some people are covered and draped in them. It looks really cool, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, towards the end of peak season, you will get a free shirt, some other free stuff. That shirt is gonna happen for sure. I've seen people around my building walking around with the We Survived Peak 2017, 2018, 2019, all those stuff. But yeah. And also at the end of the peak season, business will drastically die. Once it hits January and February, you're going to be looking at about a 2-month period where you could possibly be drowning in VTO, which is voluntary time off. So it's basically the complete opposite of what happened in November and December. January and February, super slow. It pretty much dies. Like, it feels dead in the warehouse. You'll see a lot of people taking VTO if there is. So maybe you'll go in and it'll be like half capacity or maybe even like quarter capacity in the warehouse. So after peak season, dead. But during peak season, which we're coming up to, it's gonna be crazy. So be prepared for that, guys. I hope you learned what peak season was in this video and what you should expect. And if you did, subscribe down below if you're not already, because I have one video coming up in a couple of days on how to survive peak season. This video is going to be key and essential for surviving peak season in my opinion. So please subscribe down below and leave a like as well, and comment down below what you're thinking and how are you going to survive peak season. What do you think about peak season? Are you ready for peak season? And did you save some time off? Let me know in the comments down below, guys. I'm gonna end that there, guys, though. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys on the next one, and I love you all. Peace.